I always took 100% responsibility for everything that happened to me, even though it never felt like I could control anything. I just knew that if I don't take responsibility, if I don't blame myself, then I can never do anything to change it, right? For example, with these YouTube videos that I'm making, I just never feel motivation to do them. And it always struck me as weird because it's like, I know that I want to, build something for myself. And there is definitely a reward, and I know it's me. I have to do it. Nobody else is gonna do it for me. But still, I would never feel motivated, and it led me to think that okay, maybe this is not the right thing. Maybe I'm supposed to be doing something else or something. But today I figured, like, I feel like I finally kind of figured it out. Because even though I always felt responsible 100% for everything, I never felt like my actions matter. I always felt that, yeah, it's completely up to me. And simultaneously, I felt that my actions will not change anything. Like, I can make as many videos that I want, and I will never find success here. And I think the reason for that is because I suffered so many defeats and betrayals in so many ways that it just led to this learned helplessness. And I never thought that it had something to do with um, low confidence or something, because I'm taking responsibility. I acknowledge that it's up to me. I acknowledge that my actions are what shape my future, right? Like, that is such a confusing place to be in. I didn't get it. I just couldn't understand it. Like, why? I think this is maybe the cause of executive dysfunction. I don't know, but this is how I felt, like the inability to motivate myself to do the things that I know are right. With me just facing this lack of motivation every day, I just felt that okay, something is wrong. Like, why am I not motivated? I should feel motivated, like, at least um on a deeper level, you know? And I think the reason now why I didn't feel like I'm doing something meaningful is actually because I had this low confidence that my actions don't matter. So how can anything feel meaningful if I do it? How can anything feel meaningful to do if you feel like your actions don't matter, if you have such low confidence? I figured this out because I mean, I'm in general like meditating and thinking and stuff so much, and then recently I also started going into therapy. And really, I don't know if like the therapy is doing much. I think it's more so just the fact that now I'm taking time to just completely focus on myself. I think that's more so what is helping me, because um I am basically seeing this therapist once a week, right? But what it then comes down to is like, what are you doing in your free time? And so what I'm doing in my free time is just thinking and contemplating and meditating every day and journaling and doing all this kind of stuff, just trying to figure myself out really on like the deepest level. And then recently I noticed that basically this feeling of intuition that you have, right? You look at something and you just kind of have a feeling and some thoughts about like, okay, do I want to do this or not? This whole thing, I think, comes from how you see yourself, actually, because how you see yourself determines how you relate to the world. So if you feel like you have low confidence, then the action that you need to take in relation to you will be, well, why should I do this? Because my actions don't matter, because you see yourself as powerless. And yeah, I think that's what I've been struggling with so much. And another thing is that this is also very important, is that I was so self-obsessed. I mean, I'm still self-obsessed in many ways, I think, but I've been aware of that, basically. I've been aware that I'm just really self-obsessed, but it never felt like um, focusing on others was the solution, because I tried that and I got betrayed and I failed at everything and whatever. So it always felt like, okay, I have to do everything myself. But what I didn't realize is that, okay, once you feel like you're on your own, you're not gonna try to make alliances anymore. That, like, I haven't been trying to make friendships or alliances, or um, even kind of, I lost my interest in dating and so on, because it was just kind of the same story again and again, where I wasn't really accepted for who I am. But anyway, that aside, it's like you start to focus on yourself in that situation, thinking kind of like in terms of power, because you know that, okay, like on some deep level, you know that, okay, I don't have any control. I want control. I want power. And what I didn't realize was that this kind of self-fixation that I knew I had, but felt was like necessary because nobody else would help me, was still counterproductive, because in the end, if you want to succeed in the world, you have to do it by giving to others, by helping others, and or like being useful to them, or giving them what they want, right? If you want what you want from other people, then you have to give them what they want. You have to give something to the world. And it kind of baffles me that I had to find this out myself. I'm certain that I have 100,000 hours or something, like just of me sitting and meditating, or just sitting and thinking, or journaling, or researching, or reading something. And it kind of is amazing to me that I had to reach this conclusion by myself somehow, even though, like, people would say to me, like, oh, help other people and then they will help you. And it always felt like that's just naive to me, because my experience has been consistently getting betrayed, and like being nice to people and thinking, okay, well, they will do the same for me, right? Wrong. I actually, now that I think about it, the last video I made was kind of in that direction. I think I made a video called Please Save Yourself from This Hurt, where I basically kind of went into like how you would think that people will give you back, but they won't. But then still, you have to focus on service, because that's the only way for you to get power in any way. Like, you cannot be, I mean, obviously you cannot, what else are you gonna do, right? I mean, the whole thing made me think that, okay, I have to become somebody who's very admirable, so that people can look up to me. That's the only way that I could be successful. That's what I thought. So I became very obsessed with myself, trying to make myself perfect in some way, in whatever way that I can. And really, it was all just because of the mistrust and the lack of confidence in my abilities, and the fact that I just felt like I couldn't help anyone. But now that I think about it, okay, I mean, this is all kind of a funny thing with life, right? I've obsessed and done all these things. Now I can talk about these things, I can talk about how, yeah, my insecurities and stuff. Like, there's something that came from that, obviously. Like, if I didn't do all that work, then maybe in the first place I wouldn't have the confidence to speak on camera, and I wouldn't have anything to talk about, perhaps. So it's a funny thing with life. But yeah, I had to realize now, and perhaps it's like with divine timing, that, okay, I have to not focus on myself, but focus on helping others. Like, how can I actually deliver something useful to people? And then through that, you will get that kind of, I mean, that's what I'm thinking now. Through that, I can get that kind of independence that I was craving, because then suddenly it doesn't matter what people think about me. If I'm useful to people, it doesn't matter what they think about me. If they need me, it doesn't matter what they think about me, right? And I don't want it to matter. Like, I never wanted it to matter what people thought about me. I never wanted to be self-obsessed. I never wanted to put on a show. I never wanted to be this, I don't know, like, oh, look at him, he has it all figured out. Oh, look at his life, he's so cool. There's so much going on. Like, I never wanted to have to perform for people. That was like the worst nightmare to me. And so I always hated the idea of becoming some influencer or something at the same time that I loved it, because the idea for me that attracted me to it was the idea of being self-reliant and free. But at the same time, the reality of it felt like, no, like, it's not gonna be that way. It's just gonna be like this thing where I have to perform and pretend I'm something better in order to keep the audience interested, because they will be like, oh, what's his secret, you know? Because it seemed like, okay, that's the only thing that that will get people to pay attention, like if you have what they want. But yeah, I just didn't think about this path, like, of just, oh, you just help people, it's that easy, you know, you just do what you can to help. So I feel pretty blessed to finally find that out for myself, like how I can actually implement in my life, like helping people, and not just be a fool who will go out of his way to do everything for people and never get anything in return. It's like, okay, you have to make an effort to help people, but you have to, you know, do it in a smart way. Like, kind of what I'm trying to do here now is like, okay, make a YouTube channel, you know, like, help people. Yeah, that's the idea anyway. I hope this helps you in some way. I hope this could give you some kind of insight about yourself. Like, it's my reflections, right? It's what I discovered about myself. So I'm hoping that by sharing this, that you can also learn something and see how it might apply in your life. And so yeah, let me know if it helped, then leave a like. And if you have any questions, leave them in the comments. I will be sure to read all of them and answer as best I can. And if you have any idea for what I could help you with, then yeah, I will also make a video about that perhaps. Yeah, other than that, take care. Bye-bye.